Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. Just got out of theater watching Captain America Brave New World. Man, what a great day. It's like 55, 60 degrees outside. Sun shining. Nice day to get out. I'm a little late on this movie, but definitely wanted to come out and see the new Captain America movie. It's been getting a lot of criticism, of course a lot of delays, a lot of reshoots. It's been considered like not a good movie, but I'm here to say I actually thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought the action scenes were really well done. I thought Anthony Mackie did a great job, and I liked the Sam Wilson character. Even like his sidekick, the new Falcon character was great. I thought Harrison Ford did a good job. I thought the main villain was really good. That was a really good plot overall. I was intrigued throughout it, and it worked as a total movie. And not the best Captain America movie, but I mean, way better than the Marvels, way better than Thor: Love and Thunder, way better than Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, I think it's been one of the best Marvel movies we've gotten besides Deadpool and Wolverine. So overall, good job for them. Hello, welcome here. I'm Jason the Old Millennial. I'm here in my basement, the great state of Kansas. Yeah, and I went and saw Captain America: Brave New World earlier today, and yeah, talk more about the movie. As I said in my intro, yeah, I actually quite enjoyed this movie. I should also say, I know I'm like 2 weeks late on this movie because I was planning on seeing the movie 2 weeks ago, opening weekend. I really wanted to do that like I've been doing. But it snowed a lot that weekend or that week, and it was very cold outside, and I just didn't really want to travel very far because I have to travel about 30 minutes to get to the AMC theater that I like to go to for this. Anyway, so yeah, so it's been 2 weeks. The weather has gotten so much better. I mean, just last week there was snow everywhere. It was like negative 10 degrees outside. This week, all the snow is melted and it's 60 degrees outside during the day. It's insane. That's Kansas weather. It's winter one week and then it's spring the next week. You never know what you're going to get. So now the weather is better. I can get out and go to the movies a little bit easier. So yeah, I definitely wanted to see this and do a review for the channel. Definitely one of the first big movie, maybe the first really big movie of the year in a sense. You know, it's a Marvel movie, you know. Now they put it back in February because you might think, I don't know, do they believe this movie very much? I don't know. There's been some problems, like I said, with making this movie. It's been delayed. There's been tons of reshoots. They added the Gino Carlo Esposito character. He wasn't originally in the movie. They added him later into the movie, the whole character, which is interesting because he plays a particularly big part of the first part of the movie. So it's interesting that they put him in so late into the process. And so when you hear all those, like, oh my gosh, delays, rewrites, adding new characters, basically feels like they had to rewrite most of the movie. That's not good. That doesn't give you a good feeling about the movie, you know? And they really, of course, this Captain America with the new Captain America, basically, with Sam Wilson, the Falcon, taking over the Captain America role. And of course, yeah, if you've seen the Captain America or Falcon Winter Soldier TV show, was a couple years ago. I feel like this movie is kind of late in the whole deal. Like this should have been came out like a couple years ago after they did Falcon Winter Soldier. So it's kind of weird timing overall for the movie. But if you've seen that movie, you kind of have an idea where, you know, of the character and how he became Captain America. If you didn't watch that TV show, I would think you're kind of confused about what's going on because there's so many things added to this that you wouldn't know unless you watch that show. I watched it, so of course I knew what was going on. But yeah, it's still interesting. You got a new Captain America here with Anthony Mackie, you know, as the Sam Wilson character taking over. Can he take over the Captain America role? You know, it's one of the biggest superheroes in the Marvel, the Steve Rogers Captain America with Chris Evans. It's been super, super popular. He's been some of my favorite movies of the MCU in total. So yeah, there's a lot going against this movie, it felt like, going in. It felt like it's gotten so much criticism. From what I've heard, it's not done really as well. But the issue is they spent so much money. They spent like $300 million on this movie because of all the rewrites and reshoots and all that. And so they're kind of in the hole already, and they're going to need a $1 billion movie to make any profit, and they're not going to do that. I mean, this isn't going to be a $1 billion movie. and this is going to be somewhat considered not very successful for them, I think, in total. Which is too bad because I think it's actually a really solid film. It was better than I expected because I came in going, okay, I'm not expecting it to be all that great from what everything I'm hearing from other reviews and other people. I don't know, but I go in there going, you know what? I thought the action was really well done. It's an action movie, very well choreographed action sequences and a lot of different stuff going on. Very fun. I mean, you got the opening sequence with Sam Wilson, and then I forget his sidekick character, Quentin something, uh, is kind of the new Falcon. And they're kind of, buddy buddies that are training, and he's kind of training him. So he's kind of mentoring this new Falcon, which is kind of cool. And so that whole first action sequence is when you meet Sidewinder, played by Giancarlo Esposito. I thought that was a really good action sequence, maybe the best one in the whole movie. I thought it was really well done because you see some good hand-to-hand fighting with Sam Wilson because was a soldier once. Mostly he's a superhero because of his really cool tech with the wings and everything, and now he's even more powerful because he has vibranium technology on his wings, so he's like really, really powerful with the wings and everything, and can, block anything with them. He can absorb, he can shoot stuff out of it. And of course, he has the Captain America shield that he uses a lot to throw at people and stuff like that. So, yeah, he's definitely very, very powerful with all those weapons. But he even has scenes where he doesn't use those weapons, he's just doing hand to hand. And I don't think we've seen him really being this great hand to hand fighter before, but this movie really shows him to be a really good hand to hand fighter. They really kind of upped his level as a fighter. I don't think they've done that in the past, I don't think. So it's kind of interesting to see now. Okay, now he's like an excellent hand-to-hand fighter, besides having all the technology that makes him, and he can fly and all that. He doesn't have the super serum, so he's not super strong, but he's just a super skilled guy with lots of technology. Still, I think it makes him a very interesting superhero and very entertaining to watch in the fight scenes. So I thought the whole first fight scene was really good. Some really good hand-to-hand combat, like I said. Really well shot. So yeah, I thought right away, I was like, okay, this is good. I'm liking what I'm seeing. And then it's kind of reminds me of Winter Soldier a little bit in the sense that it's got a very spy thriller, like what's going on behind the scenes. There's an investigation going on, and Captain America even gets arrested, spoiling, I guess, some of the movie. He even gets arrested by the president because he went rogue, and that happens in the other Captain America Winter Soldier. So it's got a lot of that spy thriller aspect to it that I like out of Captain America Winter Soldier. So I feel like it's a good, what's the word? It connects with that movie very well, I think, in that sense. I feel like that's what they're trying to do, and I think overall it does a real good job. I would say, do I like as much as Captain America Winter Soldier? No, that's definitely one of the best MC movies of all time. Some of the best fight choreography I've ever seen, and all that. But anyway, still, it's very solid. And then you get, some more action later on. And I'd say this movie's paced pretty well. I think it's like a 2-hour movie. I know, like I said, they had to cut this movie so much because all the reshoots and all this stuff and changing of the script probably. But I thought overall it was paced very well. I was never bored. I thought it moved pretty well throughout the movie, from scene to scene. I thought nothing really slowed the movie down too much. They had enough action scenes in there to keep me interested in the action part, but then had some moments where, characters are talking and you're getting character development and you're getting plot. Like, I like the scenes with him and Isaiah Bradley character, and like I said, and his sidekick character, the Falcon. Those three I thought worked really well together, the scenes that they did. And I would even say the actor who plays Isaiah Bradley gave a really good performance. I mean, I really like him. I don't know if I've seen him before or anything else besides Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I thought he gave a great performance in the small time he was on the screen as well. But yeah, I thought they worked really well, just those scenes. And then even, of course, we get Harrison Ford here as Thaddeus Ross, who's the new president of the United States. And you would say, Harrison Ford, he's getting, up in his years now. He's one of the most famous actors out there, and he's doing a superhero movie, playing this part. You're thinking, oh, he's just going to phone it in, he's just, not really trying or something like that. But I don't like using that word. I don't like when people say, oh, that person's just phoning it in. I'm like, I don't know if you really know that. How do we know if they're really phoning it in? We're not there. We don't know. I thought Harrison Ford was actually quite good in the role. I was like, wow, he still can act. He hasn't lost it as he's gotten older, in my opinion. And it seemed to me like he was trying in the character, and he did a good job. He seems like a kind of an old cranky man when he's on interviews. So I think that makes you think, oh, he doesn't really care because he's just this cranky old man. But I don't know. He's an actor. He's a professional actor. He's been acting forever. And he still likes acting. And so he still likes to try to act and do his best on any role. I can't say he's not trying. But people say it all the time. I remember people saying that Harrison Ford was phoning it in on Return of the Jedi way back in 1983, which was the year I was born. So that was 41 years ago. I remember in that movie, they were like, oh, I've heard people always say, oh, Harrison Ford didn't really want to be in the movie. He was just phoning it in. I'm like, I still really like Harrison Ford in Return of the Jedi. I think he still does a really good job in that movie. So if he's phoning it in, his phoning in is good. It's better than most actors when they're trying. So if that's a phone in, fine. He can phone it in. Still liked him a lot in the role. But yeah, and I liked his part with again with Anthony Mackie. I thought they had good chemistry back and forth in their scenes. Yeah, so I thought that non-action scenes worked pretty well. Like I said, I thought the plot was actually quite good. I thought there was a nice spy thriller. You know, of course, I knew who the bad guy was already, so that wasn't a surprise. But I liked, how they alluded to the villain and then they reveal him and the overall plot of the villain. And I thought it was overall like a really intriguing plot and kept me interested in the whole movie. I thought it was a good villain. I like they brought back Stern, I think his name was, played by Tim Blake Nelson, who was in The Incredible Hulk way back when. It's funny because I remember when that movie came out, Incredible Hulk, Tim Blake Nelson in that movie, he gets some stuff on his head and his head starts bubbling, and it's supposed to allude that maybe he's going to be a future villain. Of course, we never got another Incredible Hulk movie, so that character just kind of got scrapped. And I always thought, like, man, I like Tim Blake Nelson. I think he's a really good actor, and he's one of my favorite character actors today. So I thought, man, why don't we not seen that character? It's too bad they kind of just scrap that character. So it's so cool to finally get some closure on that character in a sense that he came back, and I thought Tim Blake Nelson was very good, and I thought it was a good villain character and with a good villain plot, and was all that. And I thought I can't say his name very good. I think it's Giancarlo Esposito. I thought was good. He's always good at villains, but I thought his character was actually pretty good too. He was like a really good with the gun, and it had a nice little fight scene with Anthony Mackie in one point. So I thought villain-wise worked very well. I'll get to my negative here in a second, but even the ending, and again, you should know this if you've seen the trailers. If you heard anything about the movie, you know that Harrison Ford, Thaddeus Rock, turns into a red Hulk, whatever. He turns kind of the Hulk, but he's red. And he has a fight scene with Captain America. And that's like the climax battle scene. And of course, I knew it was going to happen. I was waiting for it. It happened. And I was wondering, how is this going to work? And I thought it was actually a really good fight scene. I thought it worked really well. I thought they did a good animation on the Hulk when because it looks like Harrison Ford in the face. I thought, I was like, oh, okay. You can still see Harrison Ford there. I thought they did a good job animating it, whatever. And overall, it was a really cool fight scene, I think. Obviously, Hulk is overpowering Captain America because Captain America doesn't have any super serum. But he uses that vibranium technology to absorb its hit. So it still made sense that I think one of the criticisms is like, how could he fight the Red Hulk when he's only human? He'd get crushed by the Red Hulk if he got hit. But I thought they did a good job kind of explaining it through the actions that the vibranium wings that he had absorbed has some kind of, technological power that it can absorb huge hits. So that's how he's able to survive getting hit by the Red Hulk, is by covering up with the wings. So it worked as a fight scene, I think, that he could go one-on-one with the Hulk because of the technology aspect. So I thought, man, they wrecked the White House. That was so cool. I thought, like wow, they really wrecked the White House in that scene. Overall, I thought it was a really good climax fight scene that was different from every other fight scene. So yeah, it all worked for me. Good ending too. I thought the movie ended very well, very satisfactory. I love the connection between, or the friendship between Captain America, Sam Wilson, and Isaiah Bradley character. I thought those scenes were really well. Of course, I won't get too much into that, but the way they ended the movie, and Isaiah Bradley's kind of almost a tragic character, so I liked their friendship and how that friendship ended, or how that friendship, how it worked out in the end. Also liked his relationship with the new Falcon. I'm forgetting his name. I think it was like Quentin something. Played by Ramirez, I believe, Danny Ramirez or something like that, or Manny Ramirez, name the actor. I really liked their relationship, of course, Anthony Mackie definitely was more serious in his role when he's a little more of a comedic actor most of the time, but he could play more of the serious role while his sidekick was more the comic, kind of more comedic in some ways. And I thought they had some good comedic back and forth at times. Well, also it looked like I like the mentor relationship, because I felt like Anthony Mackie kind of took over with Captain America and kind of was mentored by, not really mentored, but preceded Steve Rogers, and it's always like he's never going to be as good as Steve Rogers, so he kind of always has that on the back of his mind that everybody looks at him as not as good as Steve Rogers. Well, this other guy wants to be the Falcon, and that was his dream, is to be like Sam Wilson. And so I love that dynamic of like, oh, now this guy feels the way I do about Steve Rogers, and he feels that way about me. He looks up to me in that way, kind of in a sense. And so I don't know. I like the friendship dynamic and the aspect of that, and how that. Anyway, so overall to say, I love the relationships that he has with those two characters. I thought, and it worked out really well in the end. Again, I thought really good ending to it. Anyways, if I get to my one negative, is there's this girl character. I'm not even remember her name now, but she's the security advisor to the president. Anyway, then she has some, like, one big action sequence, but you can tell, like, oh, she's this really good hand-to-hand fighter. And you find out that she's a Black Widow, just like Scarlett Johansson's character. Anyway, so she's part of that Black Widow program. So she's supposed to be this really great, hand-to-hand fighter and all this stuff like that. But they picked the worst actress to play this role. I don't know who this actress is, but she is the smallest human being I've ever seen in an action movie. It's a girl, but she's the smallest girl. I mean, she was like up to here on everybody, even other females. She didn't come up to the shoulder. She was like, I'm guessing she's like 4'10" in real life. I don't know. That's what she looked like on the screen. I was like, why did they grab this 4'10", really skinny? She looks so weird. Like her arms are just so tiny, and she's supposed to be this great fighter. She looks so weird in fight scenes. Every scene she looked weird in. She's just, I don't know, something's just weird about her. She was just so tiny, and every time she comes in and does a scene, it was just so distracting. I was like, wow, this is one of the worst castings I've ever seen in my life. And it doesn't ruin the movie. Like I said, I still thought the movie was good. She has like one action sequence, but it's like this girl, she couldn't lift 10 pounds. She looks like, and she's supposed to, take down a guy that's 200 plus pounds. It's like, I don't know. She looks so weak. And yes, she's supposed to be this great fighter. I don't know what they're doing with that scene, that character, that actress, why they picked her. It is mind-boggling how bad that her scenes are and how bad she is in the movie. And it's like, man, if they could have just fixed that, got an actress that looked like she can actually fight. I mean, pick an actress that's at least 5'5". Can we at least do that? It's still short, but come on, 5'5", and this girl looks like she weighs 80 pounds. She looks like she's 4'10". She weighs 80 pounds, and I'm supposed to believe that she can fight. Yeah, let's get a girl that's 5'5" and 120 pounds. That's better than an 80 pounder. It was just beyond me. That was so stupid. The worst decision of the film is to cast this actress. And here, nothing against the actress as a person, just it was bad for this role, and it was, yeah. Luckily, it wasn't a big role. I mean, it was a fairly good role, but it's like if it was more of a major role, I would have a bigger problem with it. But luckily, we just go, okay, it's kind of the side character that's in the movie. But anyways, that's my biggest negative, really, which isn't a lot of negative, actually. Because like I said, there's really not a lot I can say is really negative about this film. Like I said, this is by far one of the best MCU movies we've gotten in a long time. Not counting, Deadpool and Wolverine, I thought was a really good movie as well. But I look back before that. I mean, when you look at Ant-Man Quantumanium, that was a horrible movie. Marvel's horrible movie. You look, like I said, Thor: Love and Thunder, horrible movie. I mean, they just had so many horrible movies right in a row. I kind of lost my faith in Marvel, and that's why coming up to this movie, I didn't have a lot of expectations. I'm like, oh my god, like they've done so many bad things. Can I trust they can make another good movie? And this has gotten my faith up a little more because I feel like after this, I'm like, okay, we've had two good movies in a row, Deadpool and Wolverine and Captain America: Brave New World. I think were two actually pretty good movies. And we got Thunderbolts coming up, which I think looks kind of good in trailers. And we got Fantastic Four, which I haven't seen enough to know or have any expectations for that. But it's like, man, if Marvel can put together two more good movies, like we might be back on track for a good MCU. And I know we're revving up for another Avengers movie, so this could be good for Marvel. If this is another good year for Marvel, it's like, man, they could put 2 good years in a row. We're on the right track, at least. I can say we're at least on the right track. We're not snowballing down like we were, like I said, with those god-awful 3 movies, like I said. Plus, Doctor Strange, I thought was just, I wasn't that crazy about it. I thought Shang-Chi was okay, and I thought Black Widow was okay. I think this movie is even better than those 2 movies. So I was like, we haven't had a really good movie like this since, like, Spider-Man No Way Home or whatever. It's been the last, like, really great movie. And then we got these 2 movies, back to back, basically. But anyway, so overall, I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. What 3.5 means it's a solid movie. I think it's definitely a movie worth seeing. And it's sad that it's doing so bad. I'm hearing it's not doing very well, but I'm like, man, I think this is definitely one to go out and see. I mean, like I said, way better than most of the Marvel movies lately. So this is actually one of the better ones. So that's my thoughts on Captain America: Brave New World. Please feel free to comment what you think about it if you've seen the movie, and do you like it better than me, like it worse than me, whatever. Here, I'm curious what other people think about this as well. And besides that, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for liking it. And I appreciate all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate you all and hope you have a good day.